What up, big time gang? Little side-by-side comparison of two Venom hybrids that I own currently. And I thought before I let one go, I'd show you the differences between the two. So if you're interested in that, please stay tuned. All right, so welcome back to another Tony Big Time video. This one here is a little comparison, new versus old. So we'll get into this, make it nice and simple. But first off, just look at the dials. The one on my right, this one here, Swiss made at the 6 o'clock. You see that there? The dial is a little more busy. That's because it is a master calendar. You see that? Friday, April 23rd. Over here towards 12 o'clock, you see Friday in April. And then that little red arrow at the 23rd, that's a date indicator. So that's a master calendar Swiss made. Now this is one of the ones they were selling not that long ago. And this is a Z60 Venom Hybrid. So right off the bat, dial looks very similar, but very different. So the one on my right is a lot busier. The one on the left is a lot less busy because the one on the right has the date going all around that center of the dial there, where this one just has the 5, 10, 15, the time going around that little wheel there. And then on the left, you'll see the classic Z60 day of the week there, the indicator, where this one actually has a minute counter in that location. And then above that is the wheel for the day of the week. You see that there? And then on the right, you have the month, where on this one, you just have the second counter and there's nothing above the second counter, where the second counter on the master calendar is actually right where that second counter on the Z60 is. So those are the subtle differences where from far away, you might think they're one and the same. And then there's other differences as well. So first of all, this one here is a master calendar Ronda 5040.F. This here is a regular Ronda Z60 Swiss movement. So quality wise, you know, of course, the 5040.F, much more technical, much more sought after than the Z60 for sure. This is an older watch. That's why it's got the Swiss made at the 6 o'clock. This is before all the rules changed. This is a reserve watch where this hybrid is not. So you'll see right here is at the 12 o'clock, it says Invicta. And then the chronograph hand is just a regular white hand. Whereas the chronograph hand on the right here says reserve. And up there at the 12 o'clock, way at the top, you can see it says Invicta Reserve as well. So another big difference there. Reserve, non-reserve. Bezels are different, even though they look very similar. The master calendar here on the right has a high polished inner bezel ring, where this is all matte. And then it's matte on the outer part of the bezel, along with this one as well. And then the numbers on the bezel are one that's just all blacked out. And then the master calendar here is actually chrome. So it's high polished with black underneath it to pop. The inner bezel ring, very similar, but the master calendar is much thicker. So you got a lot more white there. As far as pushers and crown, very big difference. So pushers on the Z60 are screw down, just like the ones on the 5040F, but they don't have the Subaquanoma style crown that flips up like that. It's just a flat, solid piece. Still screw down, but totally different. This has a dragon on it. This one does not. And then the quality of this little guard that goes around the pushers. This one here is steel. This one here is plastic. So another big difference. Screws. These here are silver to go along with the pushers, where these ones are black. Case backs. Let's go to case backs. This is the Z60. Model number 32762. Now, I'm not knocking this watch. I'm just showing you the differences, so don't get it twisted and be all in your feelings. That's not what I'm doing. And then we have the same, almost identical case back, but this one says Invicta Reserve, of course. Then we've got the model number right there, 20421. Both have scissor clasp. Both have rotating bezels. Both have very similar bracelets. It's just that those subtle differences on the dial. And so I got this one for my buddy Bruce. And up until today, I've already had this watch for a few weeks now. Up until today, I didn't notice that my Z60 was identical pretty much. So when I did, I was like, uh-oh. I mean, I could keep two watches that are identical, but why? So I'm on the lookout for a Venom Hybrid that is a different color. If you have one and you want this all black one, hit me up. This thing is in mint condition. I've worn it once, maybe twice tops. I take very good care of my watches, so it's not all beat up. But I just wanted to show you the difference in the movements because the hands are the same. From first glance, they look very, very similar, but they're very different. So Ronda 5040.F, OG Swiss made. Ronda Z60, new style, much cheaper price point when they're selling on Invicta stores. And I've got the AD 40N JT Subaquanoma specialty on the wrist today. But so anyway, I just wanted to point that out and make a little video. So if you're doing a comparison or you're shopping for a hybrid, you know what you're looking at. So if you don't see those two wheels on the top that have the day and the month indicator, it's definitely not a master calendar. It's going to be the Z60 version, which is just the newer version. A lot of people like this version better because it's easier to read. So when you're going and looking at, you know, your dial in the quick glance, this isn't as busy and easier to read. To me, they're about the same. My eyes aren't that bad yet. And when looking at either, I can read either fine. And then the month and the day of the week, if I need to see it, I can, you know, focus and look at it. But when I'm glancing at the time, I'm not looking at that. So not that big of a deal for me. But anyways, stay tuned for photos. Have a great day. And as always, God bless. If you're shopping for a watch, make sure to check out Georgia Mountain Watches. Link will be in the description.